Today we'll be looking at the most popular games on Steam as of March 2019. I'll be basing the popularity of these games on their peak player count in the past 30 days, not their current player count as of writing. Although there may be 50,000 people online at the moment, their peak could have been 80,000 a few days ago, and that was what I'll be ranking them on. For reference, by the way, when you see the stats, the lighter colour when showing it is the current players, whilst the darker one is the peak. Now, anyway, let's get into what you're here for, starting off with Team Fortress 2 as one of the most popular games around. Team Fortress 2 is one of them huge multiplayer FPS games that almost everyone has played. Being released all the way back in October 2007 and being developed by Valve, the same company who created Steam, this game was made as a sequel to the mod Team Fortress for Quake. In June 2011 they chose to make the game free to play. To keep the game updated and running, they added in microtransactions and cosmetic items for players to buy. These in-game items became very popular as players paid a fair amount to pimp out their cartoonish fighter. In-game players can choose between three classes which have various characters. There's the offensive group, defensive group and support group. This allows for lots of tactical play and gave players a chance to find out what they are best at doing in-game. Each class has their own role in the team, making every game of Capture the Flag or King of the Hill have another layer of strategic play involved. Team Fortress 2 received critical acclaim from many reviewers and has done well to keep the player base involved and entertained, clearly shown through its extremely long life cycle, which has now spanned over 10 years. Football Manager 2019 is the new annual release of the football franchise. It actually began a long time ago in 1992 with Championship Manager. However, after breaking up with their partnership and original publisher of the games, they lost the rights and had to rename the game. Then Csgo came along and became the publisher of the series, and they started the game back up with Football Manager 2005. Since then the loyal fanbase has stayed strong, with it peaking at 73,000 players on Steam in the past month alone. As you could have probably guessed, in this game you play the role of a new manager of the team that you choose. You could manage a huge Premier League team, but where's the fun in that? The real fun comes from taking a conference team like Woking to the Champions League in 6 seasons. That stuff really doesn't go unnoticed. Unlike many other football games, this can be really challenging for almost anyone. You must manage everything perfectly, from the player's contract to keeping the team fit and happy. If you fail to do so, then you will most likely get sacked and have to start all over again. Although it can be frustrating at times, it is all made up for when you win the league in the 90th minute with a great strike from the academy graduate you brought in. If you wanted to check the game out, you can now also get it on Nintendo Switch. Rust, the multiplayer only survival game, was initially released in early access back in 2013, and after many years of development it was fully released in 2019. Like many survival games, it was at first considered to be a clone of other games like DayZ, with a survival aspect, but a little of Minecraft tossed in for good measure. The whole point of the game is to survive for as long as you can in the wilderness. In order to stay alive you must gather resources, manage your hunger and fight off the dangers of the world, which are mainly other players. As a multiplayer only game, the community plays a huge part in you enjoying the experience. Most players will either create or join a clan, in which you and your members will raid and fight other clans to gain resources and power. Peaking at 77,000 players this month, Rust has a strong community behind it. If you enjoy multiplayer survival games where you're always at the risk of being attacked, then this is the game for you. This free-to-play third-person shooter developed by Digital Extremes was released in March of 2013 on Windows, but was later ported to PS4, Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch. You can choose between a wide range of different fighters with a variety of weapons and abilities, making your gameplay choices strategical, especially if you choose to squad up with friends. The game claims to set itself apart from others like it through its parkour aspect and overall movement, which does feel very smooth and satisfying. Having said that, at first the game wasn't very well received, but as time has gone on it has gained in popularity, peaking at 86,000 players this month on Steam. Warframe is now Digital Extreme's most popular game, and they keep it alive through constant updates and microtransactions. Although it can be tedious without spending money on it, everything is obtainable through grinding, which isn't seen very often with other free-to-play games. You really can't lose anything by checking this one out for yourself. This award-winning strategic game, which peaked at 93,000 players, is not something that you see being so popular in gaming that often. I'm a bit of a so games like this take me a long time to grasp, but once you do, I guarantee you will enjoy it. Sid Meier's Civilization is a turn-based strategic game series in which you lead a small civilization from being a little settlement into a world-dominating power over many years. And you can do it through any means, whether it be through sheer power, technological advancements, or influence over the people. However, no matter how you choose to do it, it won't be an easy task. Along the way, you have to build up your own army to fight and defend your home, explore the world, improve your city, research new technologies, and much more. If you're looking for a game in which you must tactically outclass computer-controlled opponents, then this is the game for you. I have already spoken about GTA 5 before in a previous video on the best selling games of all time. No surprise it's on this list as well. GTA is the first game on this list to peak at over 100,000 players this month on Steam, even after it was initially released over 5 years ago in 2013. Rockstar have done a good job in keeping the game updated through their extremely popular GTA Online, which has made them lots and lots of money. On the other hand, the single player mode hasn't seen any updates or DLC since its release, even though many people would like to see it expanded upon. Nonetheless, you can really make your own fun in this game, whether it is online or on your own. In single player you can roam Los Santos, complete missions, or just cause havoc. With friends you can play mini games, plan and take part in heists, or overall just mess about. GTA is a game that is fully worth every penny that you pay for it. You could spend hours in game and still not feel bored or like it is missing any content. If you haven't tried it out yet, then you really should. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is a tactical first-person shooter game developed and published by Ubisoft. First being released in December 2015, this game has since been received very well by many critics and players, as most thoroughly enjoyed the tense tactical gameplay. Although there isn't a campaign you can play on your own, the game offers short little missions which focuses on a group of recruits who are going through their training. The main bulk of the fun comes from the multiplayer though. Each player in-game takes the role of either an attacker or a defender in various situations. Whether it be rescuing hostages or defusing a bomb, there are many skillful elements involved as you cooperate with your team. Unlike other games in this genre, you can interact with a lot of the environment, which can give different advantages depending on the situation you are in. Since its release, many content updates have come out in the forms of operations. Each operation has multiple seasons and has provided players with new maps, weapons and characters throughout the gameplay's life cycle, which is still going on today. If you like the harder, more skill-based shooters, this one's for you, and so is the next game which is coming up. Before I get into this one, I just want to talk about the video in the background. This was created by Nicky HT and is genuinely extremely well done. A link to the video will be in the description if you want to see the whole thing. Kicking off the big runners is Csgo, which has peaked at 650,000 players in the past month. Counter-Strike Global Offensive was released back in 2012 and continued on the Counter-Strike shooting franchise. Known for being one of the hardest games to master, Counter-Strike is unlike many other first-person shooters. Each weapon has to be perfectly controlled to do best in game, but it's really hard to do as many factors affect where the bullets land. The spray pattern, players' movement and overall distance are just a few examples of these. In a competitive game you are put into two teams, these being the terrorists and the counter-terrorists. As you could probably guess, the terrorists have to plant the bomb on either of the two sites, while the counter-terrorists must defend these zones. Counter-Strike is one of the most popular games in esports around as well, with tournaments being played multiple times a year. Weapon skins are also a big part in game, which has been sold for upwards of £100,000. Recently a new update came out called Danger Zone, which has made the game free to play. So if you like the idea of this game, there's no harm in checking it out for yourself. As with GTA, I've spoken about this game before, but I didn't mention how it was the second most popular game on Steam, peaking at 930,000 players, and people claim this game is dying. Compared to the other games, this one is fairly new, being fully released in the tail end of 2017 and has since been ported to consoles and even mobile. PUBG capitalised on the popularity of the Battle Royale genre over the past few years, and is probably the most skill based one of them out there at the moment compared to others like Fortnite and Apex, which are more for the casual users. In this Bvp shooter, you jump out of a plane and parachute into the battle zone, either on your own or with a squad. You and your team must gather loot as quick as you can to give you the best chance to survive in game. As time goes on, gas will slowly force you closer and closer to your enemies, meaning that eventually you will have to either fight or die. The game ends when there's only one player or team left standing. Overall, the competitive scene is fairly large for this game, but some have complained that the Battle Royale game shouldn't be in esports due to the luck-based looting system. However, it's still very fun to watch and play on your own or with friends. Dota 2 is undoubtedly one of the biggest games around, and this is backed up by the fact that it has peaked at just under 1 million players this month alone. Being developed and published by Valve in 2013, Dota 2 is the most popular MOBA around. In game, 10 players are split into 2 teams of 5, in which they must defend their base but also attack their opponents at the same time. Each player controls a hero, each of them have their own set of abilities allowing different playstyles. While the game plays on, you'll gain experience and items. These can be used to fight other players and help you destroy their base. Once one team's base is destroyed, the game is over. Although it has been criticised for a steep learning curve, making it a hard game to grasp at first, it has overall been received extremely well, with some critics calling it the best game of all time. Like the other games high up on this list, it is a highly active esports scene. Teams across the world have taken part in leagues and tournaments for huge cash prizes, and to this day it's still one of the most popular games to be streamed on Twitch. Despite it being hard to get into, I truly recommend you try it out if you never have before. The gameplay is fun, and when you finally win your first game, it does really feel like you've achieved something. Anyway, there you have it, the most popular games on Steam. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, why not leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of some of these games as well in the comments below. I'll see you all next time.